We'll start our first question to Alexis Bolin, the queen of scripts.
He's like directing the questions.
Alexis, someone sitting out there wants to know, they're competing on a listing appointment with multiple agents, but they don't know who the other agents are. How would you tell the seller that you're better able to serve them than the other agents? And again, you don't know who those agents are. What sets you apart?
Well, I've been asked that question before, and the answer was darned if I know. And so, I've gone through that, and this gentleman asked me that, and I said, well, I don't know. You've interviewed the other agents. Tell me what it is that makes them different than me. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, I manage to close 100 houses a year, and they have all the same tools I do, so I'm wondering why they can't do the same. So, don't be afraid to say things to people because it stops and causes them to think. But, on the other side, I wouldn't say anything at all about the other agents. I would say, I don't know who you're interviewing, but what is it you're looking for an agent? And having spoken to 8 other agents, have you found that in somebody? And if so, what is it? And if they said, well, they haven't, or they didn't care to answer the question, or maybe they told me what it was, then I would be saying, if I could do the same thing or better for you, would there be any reason you wouldn't want to work with me? So what I want you to do is not badmouth the other people. I mean, even if you know who they are and you know they're a bumbling idiot, you don't go in and say things like that. Just I never know anything about the agents. If they ask me any questions, I never know anything about them, even if I know something about them. So.
I think that's a great pearl, right? You don't need to talk about the other agents. They're not in the room. Debbie, I wonder, do you have a different way that you would answer the same question?
I would probably say, have you happened to notice the nearly 600 5-star Google reviews that we have? Because those people can say why we're a better team and why we're going to give you a better experience.
Stacy, something to add? You make eye contact, you're getting called on.
I've noted. I think what I would say is, along the lines of what Alexis said, I mean, I don't know who else you're talking to, but I know what myself and our team is capable of doing for you. Our past evidence is in our testimonials. It's with the people that likely referred you to me. Why did you pick up the phone and choose to call us?
Great advice. Les, a lot of people are experiencing a change in their market. They've either already seen it shift or it's shifting currently. As the market shifts, what is one piece of advice you would give so that we can continue to stay ahead and stand out from our competition? This can be old school advice or something new and innovative.
That's a great question, but right now I think what you have to present and make sure your market knows is you know what's going on. The worst thing that could ever happen is for you to, in my opinion, for you to walk into a meeting with someone and say, they ask you a question and you don't know what to say if it's market related. So I believe there was someone that said earlier in the thing, AI can do all this. I do it the hard way and read a lot of stuff. So make sure you know what kind of market you're in so you can share that with your client. I've asked several people today in this room, what is your market? And they're not real sure because it's changing so quickly. So to know is to have power. Knowledge is power.
Heidi, I know the Florida market's undergone a lot of changes, and your market in particular after the storm. How would you think about that question?
So for me, I have honestly had to go back to school and learn how to talk to people because people are hurting, right? We went from super, super hot to not so hot. And I have had to really perfect the way that I speak to people, the questions that I answer, knowing the market data, and then also digging back deep into, okay, I've been doing this 27 years, what happened in this year and that year, and being able to tell those stories of recovery, being able to tell the stories of, we were here, then we went here, then we went here, being able to tell the stories about interest rates and how they've fluctuated. And, at the end of the day, either you need to sell or you don't. You need to buy or you don't. This is a permanent career for me. I'm here when you're ready.
I would add add to that too. I think I like when people say, the market's shifting. I'm like, yeah, it's shifting every day. The market is always shifting. It's going up, it's going down. People are getting married, they're getting divorced, they're having babies. Like the market is, I can't tell you, we pull the stats every Monday, and I can't tell you any Monday that I've pulled the stats and they're the exact same. I mean, that's the reality of real estate. And thankfully, I've been doing this for 20 years, and so I've been through a lot of those different markets. And so you get my previous experience when we get to the table together.
So let's keep you on the hot seat then for this next one.
Oh, great.
With the market shifting, let's see that you have a situation where you've done your market analysis and the client is really confident that their home is worth more or at the very top of the range that your market analysis suggests, and they're convinced to it. They're going to insist that you list at the high price, even when their property doesn't necessarily justify the value in your opinion. What's your response?
I had this last week. $70,000 more, which was like, in our market, that's like 20% higher than what the listing price was. And I just said, I'm not going to do either of us any good favors here by overpricing your home. It's going to sit. You're going to get frustrated with me. I'm going to get frustrated with you because you're going to be calling me. So let's just agree that if I'm not the right person for you because I can't get that price, I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. I know other great brokers in this town. I'd be glad to refer you to somebody else. But I'm not going to overprice your home and have it sit there and have people question my ability to do the job that I've been doing for 20 years.
Someone else?
I would just simply say you need to make a decision. You know, everybody in life has a want to, so you want to sell the house. You probably don't have a have to, but you have a want to. So I would say do yourself a favor. Price it to sell versus pricing it to sit. Because whether or not this house sells is determined by you, not me, and really not by the marketplace. Because we can sell the ugliest house in the worst neighborhood in town if the price is right. But we can't sell the prettiest house in the nicest neighborhood in town if the price is wrong. And so I want you to put your buyer hat on and think, would you do that? And logic says a buyer who's thinking straight with choices to make would not knowingly go in and buy an overpriced home. So you can price it to sit and you'll be here with it a while. Or you can price it to sell and you can get the benefit of having it fresh on the market and the best price possible because it comes to the best houses. The best houses sell because they're the best price and the best condition. And so you shoot yourself in the foot when you price it too high for the marketplace. But that's your choice. You decide if you want to sell it or not, and then the market will tell you whether or not you're right.
Debbie?
So if somebody really believes that their home is worth more than the data, it means that I haven't done a good job explaining it to them. And so in our marketplace right now, competing listings have much more value in comparison than sold comps. We also have a large variety of production builders on our market that are paying co-broking fees. They're paying, they're buying down the interest rate under 5%. They're giving them $10,000 to $15,000 in concessions. So I need to show that seller why his price is not competitive. If we really can't use data to go back and explain that, I'm going to respectfully say, I'm sorry, I'm going to turn you down now rather than letting you down later. When I take a listing, I'm buying inventory for my retail store. I'm going to put money, time, and energy into selling that. And so why would I take a listing that I cannot sell unless we have an agreement that we're going to move with the market conditions in a very short period of time, less than 2 weeks?